Welcome everyone to the inaugural session of Wardens of Wildwood. I hope you all are very excited. We have with us a campaign that is going to explore the Verduran Forest in what will seemingly become quite the tumultuous time ahead of us. But before we can get to the dangers that will befall this region in the near future, we have a party to begin with. A time for everyone to feast, drink, meet others, and be merry. It is the first day of the gala, where it's mostly going to be a subdued affair that those of you who have been here before know, mostly a time for meeting old friends, but there will still be most likely some events and potentially some problems, as always occur at the gala. Our story begins at around 10 a.m. or so. Many people have already arrived at the gala early in the day, or even arrived yesterday evening to help set up. Tents for the market areas, stages for exhibitions, a small amphitheater that's more just a large clearing lined with logs and slabs as seating fill this large clearing area. Docks for the dignitaries from foreign nations arriving by the water, as well as some tents for people to rest and sleep in for those who don't enjoy sleeping under the stars. Our story begins with two such individuals arriving from the forest. Bark Pine and Sir Raphanus, would the two of you describe your characters, please?
Yeah, certainly. So, Sir Raphanus is about 3 feet tall. His head is that of a radish, and his body, presumably, I imagine that his body is composed of the roots of a radish, though obviously in a humanoid form or whatever. Fleshies are weird. He's wearing a set of full plate armor, and carrying a lance, which is currently strapped to the side of his noble steed, Stumpy, the tree stump. Seraphinus is currently riding in the hollow of Stumpy's hollow tree stump as Stumpy kind of waddles forward with its little root legs. Seraphinus has a noble composure. He's sitting up straight in Stumpy. He would not be, if he was a normal person, he would look like a Taldoran knight with the air that he is carrying himself with. But he is a Leshy, and he is a knight of the forest instead.
All right.
And as he rides out of the tree line, he'll look over to Bark Pine, and would Bark Pine be referred to as Bark or Pine or Bark Pine?
She doesn't care. They're just things that were given to her as proper names.
Then Seraphinus will look and say, "Oh, Sir Pine, this looks fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to make it." And then camera pans to Bark Pine.
Bark Pine is tall and, can only be described as willowy. Plants and flowers actually grow out of her golden brown skin. Her hair is, silvery white. She's got golden eyes. She wears simple leather armor with a few adornments, and flying over her head is a very large red-tailed hawk. She carries herself very fairly. She slouches, she growls, she grumps. She has not been tamed by civilization, and was in fact not raised by other people except plants and animals themselves. Her bearing is very much, I want to get into it. Let's do it. Yes. That's it.
As the two of you make your way out of the forest, you've been traveling for many days at this point. While making your way towards the Isle of Arran Way is not a per se difficult journey for you all, it is a calming experience for those of you who have traveled these forests for however many years it's been that you've been on this planet. Whereabouts do you think you all would be arriving? Do you think you'd be coming out of maybe the north, the east, or the south, specifically?
Um, uh, I think we would be coming from the east, like the deep forest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever the
Making your way forwards out of the tree line, you can see a number of brightly colored tents for a sort of small marketplace that's already being set up with a variety of people and creatures, some of whom you may even recognize from your time in this area, beginning to set up small stalls and already hawking some of their wares about. To the north and south of you, directly as you exit the woods, are what you recognize to be exhibition stages for later on events that may occur. Small wooden stages meant for performances and various demonstrations. Lucky people can realistically, whenever they find one open, use it for whatever they would prefer. At the moment, it is relatively empty. It's still pretty early in the day. People are still going to be arriving, but you know from experience that as the day progresses, probably within the next few hours, finding an empty stage is going to become near impossible for those unless they are willing to wait for a while. What would the two of you like to do as you make your way in?
I think Seraphinus is pretty business oriented. He would suggest just heading straight to, or do we know we're going to be deputized?
At the moment, you do not.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, you have been, you're here just to enjoy the festival.
Seraphinus will look around to see, like maybe head to the amphitheater to see if there's races or wrestling going on or something like that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Making your way just a little further south, it is a large, cleared out area. We call it an amphitheater, but it is really only one in the loosest sense of the term. The entire open area has been mostly cleared and is lined with fallen logs and some stone slabs to serve as seating for people. Not even the grass has really been cleared away. It's kept fully natural, so if you ever compete here, you're going to have to be careful not to trip at all. Taking a look around as you arrive there, nothing is set up there at the moment. But you do find a couple of people, maybe 4 or 5 leshies similar to yourself, that are currently bringing in sort of groupings of smaller logs than the seats and setting them up at even intervals along the grass ground. Seemingly setting up for an event of some sort.
Yeah, so Seraphinus will ride over on Stumpy, and just raise a hand and be like, "Ho! What are you preparing here? What sort of event should we look forward to?"
Oh. Sir Raphanus, is that you? It's been forever. How many years has it been? 1, 2? Never thought I'd see you again.
Oh, well, I've spent a lot of time training, becoming stronger, and now I can serve as a valiant defender of the Verduran Forest, along with my friend Bark Pine here, Sir Pine.
Oh, Sir Pine. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
One of the little leshies that sort of walks over and looks almost just like sort of a tangle of vines that's rolling over the ground. And once it gets to you, it forms up in a vaguely humanoid shape, but offers one of its little hands towards you for a handshake.
Mhm.
If you're
I'll shake it.
friends, wonderful. If you're friends with Sir Raphanus here, I've no doubt you will be friends with the rest of us. We are
Excellent.
very excited if you all are planning to participate. If you're looking to show off the results of your training, sir, then later this afternoon, the sun has passed a bit further to the west. We should be having a caber toss event later today.
Mm.
Ooh.
A caber toss?
Yes.
Remind me, what kind of event is that?
Oh, well,
You
you
chuck a
see,
tree.
basically.
Mhm.
You will come with a team, and those of you who are willing to participate will take turns running forward with one of these logs and throwing it end over end, trying to get it as far as you possibly can.
Oh, well, I mean, I am small of stature, but I can still consider myself to be quite strong of body, and my friend here, Sarah Pine, you should see what she can do,
But of
especially when she
course.
gets into different forms.
Oh. Well, I'm excited to see what it is you all can bring to the field. Magic, of course, will be more than allowed to enhance yourself further. Just be careful with it. Don't go too far with any transformations here. But I do hate to say, sir, that good Stumpy here will not be allowed to participate with you unless Stumpy is doing the running and throwing themselves.
Oh, that likely won't be the case, but I'm sure Stumpy will be fine sitting and watching from the sidelines.
All right.
And Raphanus will kind of pat Stumpy's side, and Stumpy's limbs just kind of like jiggle a little bit in response.
The jiggling tree. Well, we must be finished setting up, but if I have heard, if you're looking for something to help while away the time a little bit while we look for people or wait for them to arrive, then the old seer is over in her tent and has been looking for capable individuals willing to assist with the event this year. I've no doubt that ones of your stature and character would be more than welcome to assist.
Excellent.
Right. Two of you head off towards the tents that have been set up, seeking out this all-seer. And as that, we're going to pivot over to our next individual arriving at the event. Asili, would you please describe your character to the group as you arrive?
Okay. Seely is tall and slender and walks really softly, almost almost snake-like, kind of like not stompy, but very smooth and fluid. She's got her friends. She has a big old wolfy dog named Moldy Bread, and she has a great big raven called Tucker Tiff, and she has a
Puppy.
that's my dog. I love him. And she has a Velociraptor. He's dumb. Like,
Oh no, is Kim the source of most of the animal companions?
Yes.
no.
There's nothing but elevator music behind those eyes.
I mean,
Yep.
pretty much. But she's quiet and reserved, and when she comes into the area where all the people are, she's gonna kind of stand back and just observe for a bit and try to get a good lay of the land and see kind of who people are and what they're doing and how they're interacting and kind of get a better sense of like the people.
Sure.
Feeling like people.
Go ahead and we'll make this the first roll of the campaign. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Blind, of course, to get a read on the early morning arrivals. Okay. You see a number of people out and about. Even though it's early in the day and you know it's going to get quite busy as the day moves on, there are a solid number of people out and about. There's already a chunk of people drinking the morning away. You notice over at one of the market stalls what looks to be a very ancient, sort of wizened gremlin plucking out a few of their own teeth and trading it for what look to be apples from a human fruit vendor. See a number of awakened animals walking about. Bears seem to be the most common, though there are deer and turtles and a number of other forest folk that have developed full sentience due to the innate primal magic that permeates the forest and have thus gained full sentience themselves. A few small sprites flit about, but as you're standing back and sort of watching, much unlike yourself, you do end up hearing some heavy footfalls approaching out of the forest behind you, and a large shadow quickly sort of engulfs your presence, darkening the area around you.
Moldy Bread will immediately show his teeth and do a little growl.
Whoa there. Whoa there. It's okay. I apologize if I got in the way of your looking. Let me much move out of the way and get you your son back. And stepping to the side, giving you son back, is about a maybe 14-foot tall or so wood giant. Pale greenish skin, long braided green hair, elf-like ears stretching to the side, a very soft face, but a giant has just appeared behind you.
I will reach my hand up and apologize. I'm so sorry, you just startled us.
No worries, I have that effect on many. I don't think I've seen you before. Is this your first year at the gala?
It is.
Wonderful.
I'm hoping it's not yours.
No, this is my 7th year, I believe.
I'm a Sealy.
Thuja, it's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
And she'll, somewhat squat down and reach her hand out for a handshake. More so just kind of a finger than the full hand, but...
And I will shake that finger.
Your companions here, are they friendly? Is it okay if I pet them at all? Or are they more averse to physical contact?
I'm gonna look at Moldy Bread and decide how he's feeling, and he'll put his head down and agree to be pet. Tucker will jump up and fly up onto her shoulder.
Oh.
And Velocity Roger's just gonna sniff some bugs, just blissfully unaware that there's even a creature next to him.
All right. She will just first sort of put a finger up and very carefully stroke under Tucker's beak before kneeling down and giving just one or two pets to Moldy Bread. You can see very clearly that she is doing her best to hold back and not use too much strength on accident.
Moldy Bread will immediately roll onto his back and be like, "Look at my belly. Give me the pets."
One or two pets before she eventually stands up. Well, Asili, it was wonderful to meet you, and I hope you enjoy the gala. If you see me around, don't be a stranger, and I'd love to compete against you later. As if you are finding yourself to be competitive at all.
I am gonna give the big tree giant a very warm, appreciative smile because I didn't have to have that awkward, like that awkwardness of meeting somebody. And then she'll ask, "Is there a good place that I can sit where I won't be in the way?"
I mean, from what I've seen, with the number of people that are here so far, honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of people getting in one another's way throughout the day. If you're looking for a calmer place, then maybe heading over, if you go around the water's edge, or if you're looking for a morning swim, by all means, the brownish tents over there that look relatively consistent. Most people will tend to stay in that area at night, but here in the day it should be a little bit quieter. If you're looking for the opposite, and you want to not be in the way by means of everyone being in one another's way, I believe Alecreon probably arrived yesterday and should already be holding court over at the bonfire.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
And then I'm gonna head off to the tents to be moderately away.
Completely fair. You heading off to the tents as well. The next individual to arrive, or I should say individuals, is a one might inherently think strange pairing, but at the same time, with everything you see here, it honestly isn't terribly strange. Yosef, would you please introduce your character to the group?
Of course. Joseph is a roughly 3'11" foot tall rat folk, gray furred with a white undermuzzle. He's dressed in, for lack of a better word, rural clothes. Like he's got a coat and a belt with a pouch in it that you can see herbs and vials almost falling out of as he looks around in wonder at everything he sees. And by his side is his friend and trusted companion, Zalik, who is, for lack of a better word, a monstrous rat.
I love him.
And oddly enough, they seem to be holding a conversation. Mainly it's Yosef questioning Zalik of why he recommended them to come here, and Zalik just saying it would be good for him.
Yeah. And I believe you were traveling here with someone from your village, correct?
Yeah, one of the village sent a representative to the gala to speak with a few people. Yosef wasn't really given the details, but basically he knows that this person is here to, assuage some concerns that some of the members of the gala will have with the goings on of Bellis and its logging operations.
Absolutely. He's one of the quote unquote elders of your town. Bellis is not by any means a large town, so you
No.
mostly know everyone, but he is one of those people that was already an old man in town before you were born. And so just very grizzled. Most people just call him Birchbeard simply because his extraordinarily long beard, despite his age, has remained a sort of grayish brown in color and very much looks like the texture of a tree. But it's been a long journey for you, and aside from conversation with Zalik, Birchbeard has remained practically silent the entire time up until here. As you step into the gala grounds, though, for perhaps the first time, you hear him speak. Yosef,
Yes, Elder.
do you know
Birchbeard.
why you were invited along this year?
I do not.
Well, it's to be expected. Most of the others at home don't care much for what goes on in the rest of the forest. Some of us know, and some of us remember the pacts we've made in the past, though. And I hate to say that the current leadership has been going too far with their efforts. I'm hoping to help smooth out some tensions here. There's only so much I can do, though, so I thought that bringing one of the younger generation, you might be able to provide some help, get on the good sides of some of the people around town, around this event, and hopefully reduce some of the tension. But do be warned that mentioning where you're from will probably bring inherent anger from many of the other guests.
Understood, Elder. So I should just keep that information to myself.
I leave it to your discretion. Sharing it when you've helped a good person might not be the worst idea if you can use that to try and convince others that tensions can be smoothed, but I would not lead introductions with your origin if you can help it.
Understood. And if someone asks, should I tell them what Zalek is, or is that best left to privacy?
Well, I think Zalek should get a word in himself, don't you think?
Very true. And Yosef will look to Zalek, well, rather look up at him.
I mean, I don't care what people know of me.
Oh my god. What a voice.
Charles, you've returned.
All right, Zalek. Then I'll leave when introductions are made. I'll leave you to introduce yourself.
Wonderful, I'm looking forward to it. I'm smelling good things. We haven't eaten in, 3 hours now? I'm looking for food, how about you?
I agree. And, Zalek, the way you say that, it makes me sometimes question.
What do you mean, question? When have I ever eaten anything unsavory?
Do you remember that piece of fruit you stole from the kitchen that one time when my mother's back was turned? You remember that?
I remember it like it was 2 days ago. It really
Yes,
was disgusting.
yes, yes. I'm beginning to think she did that on purpose to see if you'd actually do it.
I mean, she did catch me those 3 or 4 other times prior to that when it wasn't unsavory, so maybe. Probably not, though. Just a bad piece of fruit.
Yeah, there you go. Just a bad piece of fruit. All right.
Well, I'm off to go speak with some of the people I've made connections with, but if a friend of mine, to be honest, asked for some potential help this year, which was why I chose the two of you to come along. If you make your way when you get the moment over to the resting areas, ask for a Morga, and you'll get introduced to her pretty easily.
Orga. And what is she? Is she a fae, an elf?
Oh, it's hard to describe her in so few words, but well, The simplest way would she's one of the awakened. Very old awakened. Here in the forest.
Oh, she's and then Yosef will snap his fingers trying to come up with what he's trying to remember. She's an awakened animal.
Correct. Try not to call her an animal, though. Those who are awakened do not like being referred to just as animals. They tend to see that as a bit of a slight against themselves.
Oh, okay. Is she a awakened dog, awakened rabbit, bird?
I'd rather leave the surprise for when you meet her.
Very well. I will go and seek her out.
Bye, Birchwood. Zale just waves as Birchwood turns and heads off seemingly in the direction of that large bonfire you can see over on the beach. Up in the... flaming up into the sky.
Okay. Well, Zalek, let's make our way over there, and on the way we will find you something to eat that is not rations, because I'm pretty sure you're tired of them.
Oh, you know me so well. I don't want any more of these rations.
Yes,
What are you in? Else.
What are you in the mood for?
Honestly, I could go for some berries right now.
Okay. Elderberries or just anything we can find.
If it's a berry, it's a berry.
Got it. So, Yosef and Zalek will go to find Zalek some berries and then head towards the resting area to try to find Imorga.
Yeah, and I type that up in chat for anyone who needs to put it down at all. Now, the four of you have arrived here relatively close to one another and might have an interesting run-in as you approach the tent that Imorga Allseer occupies. Maybe asking a few people for directions in order to find your way there, but as you approach the much larger tent than many of the other tents here in the campsite, you can hear voices from within.
Are they shouting, or is it just regular conversation?
It seems like regular conversation.
Are there like anybody watching the entrance to this you said a tent?
Give me a perception check.
The tent explodes.
Oh god, no, please!
You don't see any other primary individuals sort of keeping watch on it. However, you do see two separate groups of individuals both approaching the tent, not quite next to one another, but the first group is a small leshy riding what looks to be a tree stump, along with a elf with a hawk on their shoulder. The other one is someone who looks to be just a relatively tall human, a bit further back, but surrounded by multiple animals.
Hey, Zalek.
Yeah.
I've got a good feeling about this. What about you?
That raptor over there does look pretty tasty, doesn't it?
No, Zalek,
No. Why not?
Zalek, we can't just eat anything we want.
I didn't say I was gonna eat it. I just said it looked tasty. There's a difference.
Dalek. You know what? You're right. I'm not going to argue.
That's what I thought.
The only reason I'm not going to argue, Zalik, is because you've been correct so many times in the past.
I'm aware. There's a reason I'm right about things. I taste everything, except those I'm not supposed to taste.
But it also
Like that
be...
raptor. For now.
Yes, like Yosef is just going to get this exasperated look on his face of, oh boy, here we go.
Look at those feathers. They're so colorful. Do you think each one tastes different?
I've never actually eaten a feather before, Zalik. I would assume it tastes kind of like hair.
When was the last time you had hair that tasted bad?
When I was 5.
And how many
Which
times
was 10
since have you
years
had...
ago.
Right. And how many times since have you had hair that tasted good?
I have never eaten hair that tasted good.
Zalik, a sort of mutant rat double your size, just puts his clawed paw on your shoulder. We'll make a gourmet out of you yet. Hello over there!
Oh god, here we go. We're doing this.
The rest of you, as you're approaching this tent, see a rat folk, quite a common sight in these parts, but this massive mutated rat, it looks like, that seemed to be talking, who just looks over at you and shouts hello while waving a massive clawed paw in your direction.
I think as Seraphinus sees this, the rat is clearly like not or the giant rat is clearly, is he mutated in some way, or?
He's not mutated. He's just enormous, and he has extra spines and big teeth and claws and a barbed tail. Like, nothing about it would scream mutated. It just looks like he's been in...
That all screams mutation.
Yeah.
He's not mutated!
That literally all screams that.
My initial concept was that Seraphinus was going to be like, oh no, a monster, 2 arms, but there's probably plenty of creatures like this throughout the Verduran woods.
Yeah.
So all that Seraphinus is going to do is kind of gaze up and lean over to Barkpine and say, well, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yes. Would be a challenge to wrestle.
Oh, I'm sure you of all people would be able to wrestle at that, Bark.
Hello.
Probably.
My name is Yosef. This is Zalik, and as he gestures towards the giant beast next to him.
Hi, it's nice to meet you all.
Hello.
Are you all here for the gala as well?
Barkpine will look around. Yes.
Indeed.
Thrilling
said-
conversation.
I know. Like I said, my name is Yosef. May I have your names?
Of course. Apologies. My name is... Okay, give me one moment. I have to get the full name here.
Oh no.
Oh god.
My
Brace
name
yourself.
is Seraphinus, the most pungent of the House of Satavis, most chivalrous knight of the Grand Unified Order of Glucose and Myricin, bearer of the Seal of Daikon, and defender of the roots. At your service.
Barkpine.
Barkpine? Sir Raffinus, it is a pleasure, and at this point, Yosef will, put an arm across his chest and have one out and do a slight bow. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
And Pleasure as well to make yours.
A pleasure.
And then, Jericho, did you say I saw a second group approaching as well?
Yeah, they're a bit back, and I imagine sort of hanging back as you all meet themselves. But what looks to be mostly human, maybe a bit taller, with a raptor, wolf, and raven all sort of surrounding them.
Yosef will turn to this individual and wave. Hello!
Hello.
I'm Yosef. This is Zalik. May I have your name?
It's nice to meet you. I'm Asili.
Really a pleasure.
This is Velociraptor, and this is Moldy Bread, and this is Tucker.
What does that
Yosef will
mean?
look at them all. What was that, Zalik?
What is Tucker Tiff? What does that mean?
That's his name. What is your
Fair.
name?
Zalik.
Nice to meet you, Zalik.
Nice to meet you too. Can I eat one of your raptor's feathers?
Zalik, no, that's not how you.
I'm asking. I'm not just gonna eat it. I'm being civilized.
To be honest, that is actually a pretty polite way of doing it.
I am gonna look a little bit uncomfortable because obviously nobody's ever asked me if they could eat one of his feathers. So I'm gonna look a little uncomfortable and confused, but I will go over to Velociraptor and I'm gonna give him a little scriffle and kind of brush him through. And if a feather falls out, I will feed it to him.
Go ahead and roll
And
me
it does.
Okay, perfect. What color
I have-
feather falls out?
It's red at the part that sticks into the bird and purple at the end.
Oh. Can I really?
Of course.
Thank you
She's
so
giving
much.
it to you, Zalik.
I know.
Right.
This is the
I
best
have-
person ever.
Never heard of a creature that eats feathers. Not that I am one to judge anybody's diet, of course.
Yes, you'd be surprised what he eats.
Well, I mean, I eat sunlight, so there's that, but
How do you do that?
Oh, are you a and then Yosef will snap his fingers again, trying to recall the name. Are you a one
uh,
of my friends told me the name, but I
Uh,
can't seem to recall it.
a leshy? Are you not familiar with leshies?
No, I know what they are. I just never knew their name.
Seraphinus is gonna kind of narrow his eyes. He's not suspicious so much as he's confused, and he kind of like looks around to the other people before looking back to the Yosoki in front of him, and he's like, "Dear Sari Yosef, are you from around here?"
You mean the south? No, I'm further north.
But you're from the Verduran Forest, right? So you should know what leshies are.
Yes. I know what you are. I just didn't remember the name.
Very suspicious, but he's not going to push the issue. Well, apologies. I am glad to see that your companion is well fed, at least.
He does appear to be liking the feather.
It tastes pretty good. Do you want to try it?
No, thank you.
How about you? Holds it out to you, Seraphinus.
I do not have a mouth with which to eat.
How are you talking then? That's so cool.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that, Yosef? Magic
Yes, I did.
exists.
Yes, Zalik, we've already had this conversation 3 times so far. I know magic exists.
Really?
Remember?
No, I don't. I think you're lying to me.
I'm not. I can't lie to you. How do you not remember that?
Must be magic. Don't go back to eating the feather.
And Yosef just kind of like pinched the bridge of his nose. It's just like,
Okay.
At around this time, Sean, you've been deep in conversation, going over some of the important things and people for you to keep an eye on here. It's getting quite loud outside of the tent, though. And it's becoming a bit more challenging to keep a conversation going.
Well, your party seems to be in full swing out there.
I'm sorry. I thought it would be a bit quieter over here for now, at least at this point in the day. Perhaps it's some others looking to assist, though. After all, this might be a bit much for you to do on your own.
Oh, nothing like a good hoedown. Them fan the forest, trust me. You don't want to see what them parties are like at times.
I've attended a good... back when I was younger, I attended many. Nowadays, it's a bit too hard to get off the ground just for a party like that.
And most of them are pretty decent folk, though. Just get carried away sometimes.
That's
Once
one
we get...
putting it.
you get used to it. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing.
If you enjoy your work, then I'm not sure it's a bad thing. But,
Yeah. Though,
shall we see what
anyone
these
I should
people
be
want?
expecting to worry about?
I'm sorry?
Any specific areas to be worrying about?
Alacrion, as per usual, he and his group. They haven't caused many problems the last few events, but we're always worried that the antics they get up to outside of the gala will spill over into here, so just making sure they're not getting away with any untoward charms on people.
I'll be honest, it's when they're not causing trouble that I worry.
Oh, fair enough. And they're always causing trouble, so I suppose that would be a good time to be worried. Past that...
do
Oh, sorry?
I'll patrol around there bits once I get everything settled here.
Sure. Only other individual I can think of off the top of my head who I wasn't expecting necessarily to show up. Casprickle decided to attend this year. I'm not sure why. But keep an eye out.
But I know who this is.
Give me a recall knowledge roll. And actually, I suppose I should give you guys tokens on the screen so you can use your basic action macros. That might be important.
Yeah.
Alright. Recall.
Oh, you're well aware of Casprickle. He is a Pukwudgie from the region. Typically one of the more unlikable and extremely oversensitive fae in the forest. Even for a Pukwudgie, he's considered oversensitive. If he's here, he's probably here out of spite. And will enjoy putting people in awkward social situations.
Great. Ordinarily, I wouldn't be too worried about it, seeing as those kind of things happen all the time. People are going to be drunk. Probably not even going to remember it afterwards, but I'm sure he'll find a way.
With how easily he gets offended, I wouldn't be surprised if he'll find a way. Oh.
So what kind of, just so I'm clear on my job here, what kind of authority do I have here?
Well, Enric should be here soon, but mostly the basics. I want you to enjoy your time here, so honestly, just if something comes up that you find out of place, you know the rules, you know the traditions here in the forest. Just ensure other guests are doing the same. That's all it is, really.
Anyone does start getting carried away with magic, do I have authority to use it on my own to resolve it peacefully, obviously?
As peacefully as you can, absolutely. But, let's
All right.
leave discussion over jurisdiction for when Inric arrives. Based on those voices outside, I was looking for others to potentially help you out. I didn't want you to have to do it this year on your own. So, and she just blinks as per usual when she is casting magic, and the large tent flap flips open to this eccentric group conversing pretty loudly outside. Sean, would you actually, as you are being seen for the first time by the group, describe your character to everyone, please?
Sure. So this is Sean Rosenote. For those familiar with the woods and just the kind of creatures that are in like plant life, would know he is a Gorin. He is a humanoid, but fully like tree, but like sentient tree. Mostly humanoid, stands about 6 foot. He's cloaked in kind of your typical Western / roughing it outfit. Anyone who's heard of him knows he's acts more of as kind of a ranger / peacekeeper in the woods, just making sure nobody's messing too much with the Fae and vice versa, and just kind of making sure people aren't getting lost. But you can see the rest of his body is fairly normal for humanoid, but his face is kind of like if somebody forgot to polish and sculpt the face of a mannequin. It's basically blank, but he has like some occasional like gaps in the bark and stuff for where the sound and everything comes from. On his head is his 10-gallon hat, which he's very happy and proud of.
You
And,
all are. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
You can see different like thorns and needles kind of sticking out from certain parts of his body, shoulders, back, and the like. And that's all I got.
As you guys are standing outside this large tent having this introductory conversation with one another, all of a sudden the tent flaps flip open and you see not just Sean, who I believe a few of you recognize, but the creature you all imagine to be Imorga Allseer, a gargantuan awakened tortoise whose you can see a massive rune-carved shell, maybe about 8 feet in width. A staff at her side, a number of scrolls hanging from the edges of the staff, a large hat on, leathery, wizened flesh, but a kindly twinkle in her eyes.
Granny!
Basically. Friends, welcome. May the spirit of the Eld be upon you.
And you.
Now, I don't believe I've had... I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting most of you before. You may call me a Morga. Some people here have placed the title of Allseer on me, but believe me, I do not see all. You may simply call me a Morga.
Yes. Bark Pine.
Pleasure, Yosef.
Sort of dips her head in a nod as each of you introduce yourself.
Sean Rosenote at your service.
Well, I know who you are, Sean.
I know, but I wanted to be included.
Well,
I missed you, Granny.
it's been far too long since we really should get together more frequently than just at these galas. And,
Oh, don't I wish?
young sir, is that you?
Yes, it is I, Seraphinus of the House of... and if nobody stops him, he will recite his entire name again.
You were nothing more than a sprout when I last saw you. It's good to see you
Oh.
all grown up.
Yes, well, for reference, when... I guess the last time people would have seen him, he was just Raphinus. He only took Sir after he became a knight, so...
Fair. She's not called All-Seer for nothing, though.
Fair enough.
You can call yourself whatever you want. You're still my favorite Huckleberry. He goes over and tries to give him a hug.
Sean, oh, okay. And Seraphinus will go ahead and lean up to allow Sean to give him a hug. Oh yeah, I'm I'm a mighty warrior now. I don't necessarily need hugs, but thank you.
Oh, stuff and nonsense. He's got a very older brother mentality.
But yes, it is a pleasure to be back. And I'm looking forward to seeing what occurs at this event.
And you, dearie, with all of your friends there, who might you be?
I'm a Sealy Zawadi.
Miss Zuwati, it's a pleasure. I don't believe I've had the honor of seeing you in these woods before. Are you from here? Forgive me, that might
No.
have been insensitive to say.
No, I heard about the druid gathering, and I thought I would come and see what I could learn.
Of course. We're very happy to have you. I'm sure we'll get you taught as much as we possibly can here. I suppose if you've all made your way over here, you're looking for a little bit of work potentially, or the opportunity to help us as sorry, I trip over my words every now and then. Looking for the opportunity to help us oldies out.
Indeed.
Wonderful. To be honest, from my predictions, we should be seeing far more guests than we're used to seeing in recent years. A wondrous sight, but somewhat worrisome, to be honest. So many fey, forest folk, festivities. It can create dangerous situations on occasion. It's far larger than any previous galas I remember. To be honest, they would not tell you, but it's more than the organizers can monitor on their own. So, on the behalf of the Wildwood Lodge, I would like to invite each of you to serve as a part-time security for the course of the gala. Still enjoying it, of course, but ensuring others are enjoying themselves to the best of their abilities as well.
Oh, of course, absolutely. After all, I am already a knight of the forest. It only makes sense for me to keep the people of the gala safe as well while I'm here.
Mhm.
Me and Zalek would be happy to help.
Wonderful. Oh, Zalek, I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting you before. They'll introduce each other. Miss Cecilia, I believe. I apologize if this is a bit much. I'm not sure you are expecting to work if you are just coming here to enjoy it, but I assure you it will be a wonderful opportunity for you to meet and speak with some that you might not normally get the chance to. And solving problems might bring others to your doorstep that you might not have otherwise sought out.
While security was not what I was expecting. If there's a danger, I'm definitely not going to let anything happen. I appreciate you trusting me.
Of course, and security might be too heavy of a word. Let's just say small-time problem solvers. If you see something happening that shouldn't be, or people breaking rules and traditions or bending them a bit too far, then stepping them in and reminding them of what we all stand for and what we're here for in the first place is really all you need to do. You do not need to solve every problem on your own. A good friend of mine, Inrik, should be here shortly, and he is our official head of security this year.
Basically, the needs to babysit everyone, darling.
In
Well,
so
it's
many
not-
words, yes.
It's not babysitting, it is the honorable duty of keeping the community safe.
I hope you never change.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
He just giggles.
I'm sorry, did I just hear someone talking about honor here?
Oh, God dang it.
Wandering in from outside of the tent. Those of you who are familiar with the forest will probably recognize Mr. Inrik Vanderhol himself, one of the head trackers of the lodge, who goes out pretty frequently and has probably had dealings with many of you. Most people think of him as a bit of a stick in the mud, but he is quite soft to those of you who have taken the time to get to know him.
Hey, Gramps.
Hey, Mick.
Youngin. Still tall. No one clipped your feet yet, I hope.
Yeah, not without a sting in the arse.
Sorry, can you put his name into chat for me?
I refuse.
Denied.
And is Indrik someone most of us could have met before?
Absolutely. Especially you and Bark, if you've been out in the forest a lot with what you've been doing, you've probably run into or even fully worked with him on multiple occasions.
Yeah, then at that Sarah Raffinus, who I think at this point he would no longer be riding Stumpy. I think it's very the idea of him riding around in Stumpy 24/7 is funny, but also he wants to be polite and mannerful, so he would be standing on his own 2 feet right now. And he would his little eyes would brighten up, and he'd be like, "Ah, Sir Vanderhol! It's a pleasure to see you here. I know that if you are here, then this gala will be safe no matter what."
When did you get to be talking like that? Service, honor that.
Okay, listen, just because those people in Taldor have, you know, those, that they view honor in a... Look, honor can be used for the good of the forest. And chivalry and all of that.
Pan, when'd you let him get like this? I had expectations that you, of all people, would be able to keep him calm.
Sir Raffinus does what Sir Raffinus does.
Oh.
I'm not one to bend someone's nature out of place.
Go easy on him, Gramps.
I was looking for that bright-eyed kid again, but I guess my eyes are still bright.
You're in your prime.
I've always been in my prime, always will be. And sorry, I didn't want to just ignore the other folks in the tent. Got here in a Soki, and I'm just a human, it looks like, though keeping strange company. Although,
You've seen the party outside? I don't think this is the strangest company we'll be having.
forgive me, but You aren't quite human, are you? This is looking at you, Asili.
I know. I'm gonna look uncomfortable. And I'm gonna look uncomfortable and shake my head no, and then look to the ground.
Allie's not the racist this time.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Apologies, just. I notice probably a few too many things than I should, so it's. First thing to mind is to question things I see, and being in charge of security here, I just gotta make sure I'm on the up and up with as many people as possible. Forgive me if my caused a bit too much.
Please
Trouble
do not
with what I
worry,
said.
dear friend of animals. The Wildwood is always happy to accept and welcome anybody, as long as they respect the forest, of course.
Thank you.
A little bit more than we seem.
Well, Morgan let me know it's gonna be you folks helping out with problem solving this year.
Of course.
All right, well.
It's just another Tuesday.
Is Monday today? That's tomorrow.
Every day is at Tuesday.
Well, fair. Having some more folks like you on hand would definitely be a help. Only, Thistlethorn and Mossbark showed up this year to help out. Haven't heard anything from the rest, so little light on hands. And, I think those of you who knew Inric in advance would have recognized Thistlethorn and Mossbark are two awakened trees that are very good friends of Inric's.
Did you say Thistlewood and what bark?
Thistlethorn and Mossbark.
Sorry, did you say Thistlethorn and Mossbark here at the gala?
You didn't catch Mossbark? He's just outside. Don't tell me he's not that good at disguising himself.
Oh, did we meet a Mossbark right outside?
I'm not sure you noticed him. There were definitely, there's trees out and about amongst the camp. But as he mentions this, one of the trees outside just bends itself over till the canopy is in front of the opening of the tent, and it shakes itself at you guys.
And Thistlethorn and Mossbark are people who work with Inric.
Mm-hmm. They're of the many awakened trees here in the Verduran Forest, but they are good friends and as confidants of Inric.
Sarah Mossbark, it's good to see you. And little Seraphinus kind of waddles forward a little bit and reaches up with his tiny little arm to go for a handshake with Mossbark. I don't know if Mossbark has a branch he can reach out or
Mossbark
something.
Absolutely does. I would also let you know, all of you would be well aware that Mossbark and Thistlethorn, being awakened trees, they cannot speak themselves, and inherently the only language they actually understand is arboreal.
Oh.
I can talk to him. I got blind empathy.
Hey, there you go.
I almost want to put a point in intelligence to learn arboreal.
Mossbark will absolutely, seeing Stumpy waddle over, even though the communication between you guys has always been a little messed up, does recognize the handshake and goes for one as well with a branch.
And I'm sure it's just because Mossbark is a full freaking tree, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
are
like a large-sized creature.
big ass trees,
Oh my god.
huge sized.
Huge size. Okay, yeah. I'm sure it looks just absolutely hilarious. This small-sized fleshy shaking hands with a huge-sized creature, but that's how it goes.
Well, enjoy yourselves while you're here, and just keep an eye out. You know the rules, I imagine, same as every year. Unofficial role for you is just enforcing these rules, keeping order. Thistlethorn, Mossbark will do their best to show up and help alongside me, but we got a lot going on, so you may end up being the first responder to most problems you come across. But we'll be there to back you up.
You may rely on us, Sarah Enric.
Well, that's the goal. Well, why are you still standing here? You don't need to be gabbing with an old tortoise and dwarf. Get out there, have some fun. I am hoping that at least one of you may make the podium for Wildwood champion this year. It would be very fitting if the ones I had an eye on and invited to help could be the most distinguished amongst the competitions at the gala this year.
I'll try.
Wonderful. Well, shoo, enjoy yourselves. Get out of here. Go. It's like a gust of wind that starts not hard, but like gently pushing you to get out of the tent. And then as soon as you're out, like closes the flaps of it as well.
Well, let us be off, sirs. Well,
This is my first time being here. What do you recommend?
well, I suppose it depends on what you're looking for. I personally am not capable of eating in the same way that most people are, but I hear that from those who do have mouths and taste buds and such, that some of the food here is quite good.
Yes. Good to get your teeth in. Just rip.
There's always some good contests out by the stages.
Oh yes, Sarah Rosenote, are you planning on putting on a musical performance for us at this year's gala?
I feel like I'm gonna get hounded if I don't.
And
Ridiculous.
Sarah... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just gonna add to it because there was a silence. God.
Sarah Asili, I see that you have quite a number of animals. Are they perhaps capable of performance? Not to insinuate that they're performing animals of any sort. So I just, I'm just going to shut up.
Might want to take your shoes off before you put your foot in your mouth.
I don't have a mouth.
It's a figure of
Metaphorical.
speech.
Yeah.
Kim, can your animals perform tricks?
I mean, I don't know. It depends on the tricks. Like, what are you asking them to do?
Sarah Raffinus will look over to Moldy Bread and like, spin.
He
Right.
will immediately roll onto his back and show you his belly,
What-
ready for his pets.
Sarah Raffinus isn't even gonna bother. He's just gonna give Moldy Bread belly rubs.
I feel like at the same time, Velociraptor just starts spinning rapidly.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like the wolf is bigger than Seraphinus, and
Oh.
so he's just like doing his best to like reach his tiny arms up to rub the belly.
Sarah Raffinus nearly gets lost in Moldy Bread's fluffy coat.
This is the only wholesome moment we'll ever have.
I know, right? The only wholesome
No.
moment.
Surely Jericho will allow us to have a wholesome campaign where nothing bad happens.
This is the wholesome
Yeah.
campaign, so I can tear you down in Bloodlords later today.
We're just
I
here
let
to
you have
assuage his
fun here.
guilt.
Oh, Bark, is that you? How you been?
Doing all right. How have you been?
I've been keeping. They never give me a day of rest, but fortunately that's never stopped me before. You still got that sharp tongue of yours?
Mm, sharper than my claws, sharper than my teeth.
Yeah. Some things never change, but it's probably for the best.
Mm, you are
Make
our
any new
nature.
friends since we...
No, it's just me and Isabel still.
Oh, that's a shame. Chris should get out more.
Mm, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to hear the whispers of the trees.
Oh, don't go full Pocahontas on me. That's coming from a tree.
Yes,
The tree told you not to talk.
and I am the descendant of a tree. I think.
Congrats.
Perhaps.
You're just-
Unless you came from an acorn, I have my doubts, but yeah, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So,
Maybe we can find you. Maybe find you a mate in this place. Just make you some friends.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have Seraphinus.
That's fair.
Yosef, were you about to say something?
Seraphinus is going to be that we must protect at all costs character. I'm just saying.
I
that
know,
now.
right? He is.
Considering Serapis has the highest AC in the party and highest hit points. Actually, not the highest hit points.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. We must protect.
Alright, campaign goal, note it down, kill Seraphinus.
Oh God, no.
That is how to
I will
traumatize
burn this
everyone
forest
at
out
once.
afterwards.
Oh, good. I can make you a war criminal then, too. Fantastic. Yosef.
Sean,
Ah, who said that?
me down here.
Ah, don't think I met you before.
Yosef, and he'll hold his hand out to shake.
He'll reach a hand out, but like you could tell he's trying to adjust it so he doesn't prick you with one of the thorns growing out of his hands.
Okay.
As
Yeah,
you go
Yosef
to
will give
shake
you
the
a-
rat's hand, the bigger rat just jumps his arm in and shakes your hand instead.
Dalek, that's not how you do things.
I'm giving the handshake. What do you mean?
I think he's shaking correctly.
Your hand hurts, by the way. Is that normal?
More than you think.
Alright.
For me specifically, though.
Anyways, Sean, so what can we well, I should just say myself and Zalek and Celie, I guess, since it's also her first time, but what should we expect from the gala? Aside from what Emorga told us.
You ever tried to herd cats?
Yes.
It's about 5 times worse than that.
Oh, why?
It's still lots of fun, though. I think you'll enjoy it. Just focus on the main troublemakers. If there's a prank or something, just make sure it don't go too far. That's about it.
Okay.
So be prepared for more than one person to pick a fight once they get a little too drunk.
Ah, yes. Drinking,
How about you?
both fun and exhilarating.
You're dressed up a mite bit fancy for a gala, ain't you?
I am?
Yosef is the rat folk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, normally he ain't a suit and tie event. Not that you don't look sharp as a tack, though.
Oh, yes, I was just told to wear my best. Should I change? Is there something else I should be wearing?
Yeah, as long as you don't mind getting it
Mhm.
dirty.
Oh, I don't mind getting it dirty.
Then
Believe
I'm
me,
sure you'll fit
growing
right
up,
in.
yeah, growing up with 19 siblings, you get used to everything getting dirty.
But no.
Pack of Fae, I think they'll make that seem mild.
I'll have to take your word for it. But now I'm curious to see just how they make it worse.
I'm curious about your friend there. He points to your
Oh,
at,
Zalek?
Hey
Zalek.
there.
He's a mite biggin.
He's only medium.
I know, but it's still the biggest rat
Comparatively.
he's ever seen.
Fair. Oh, I am pretty big. I'm at least, Never mind, I'm not gonna follow up on that. Joseph doesn't need to know
Don't
yet.
hurt.
What
Don't
don't
hurt
I
yourself.
need to know, Zalek?
Don't worry about it.
Zalek, the last time you told me not to worry about it, I got lost. Well, let me rephrase that. You got me lost.
And guess what? If you hadn't worried about it, nothing bad would have happened. Wasn't my fault those squirrels attacked us, that's for sure.
Well, it wasn't my
Hey.
fault.
Technically,
was
if you
his
don't worry
fault.
about it, you don't realize you're. Are you really lost if you don't realize you're lost?
Exactly what I was trying to tell him, but he gets a little, stuck in his own head sometimes.
Oh, that's rich coming from you.
What? You want to say something?
I already did, Zalek.
You guys get along just fine here.
If only I could get away from him, but no. Someone had to experiment with magic. I keep telling him magic's not real, but he thought he could figure it out. And now look where we are.
Oh.
Wait, magic ain't real?
No.
He'll cast light just to test it. Then what's this then?
Natural phenomena.
That damn swamp gas.
Okay, Zalek.
What?
We've had this argument before, and last time I splashed you with magical water.
You splashed me with water you got from a river nearby and had been hiding for that correct moment.
Oh, and I just happened to have it fall right on top of you? Remember, you're twice my size. How did I reach up there?
I missed the tripwire you set up. I know what branch that bucket was balancing on. Hey, look, that's pretty cool.
That's magic.
That is not magic. That's all
What is it?
natural.
Now you can all see what I've been dealing with for 10 years. Actually, not 10 years, 7.
What the hell was that token change? I saw that.
I saw something as well.
I changed into a bowl in front of.
That wasn't a normal bull. That had a face.
Yeah, it went weird. I don't know why.
That's mighty cool. I haven't met anyone capable of changing themselves to look like a bull before.
So wait. So Zalek,
Yeah.
if magic's not real, where'd you come from?
You trying to do magic. Do you not remember that potion you fed your siblings?
It wasn't a potion.
What was it then? Are you gonna try and say it's magic?
No, what I gave my siblings wasn't magic at all. It was an herbal remedy my mother taught me.
Just
Oh,
you never thought you'd see
one of them
big
fancy
rat
alchemy-
claws do air quotes as he says herbal remedy.
Oh, you one of them alchemist types.
I dabble a little bit, but mainly it's from the herbs and medicinal plants from the forest that I gather and turn into, things that can heal people or help them fight off poison or disease.
Don't
That's the
trust
right
him.
hand to skill.
Last time
It-
I had one of his
it-
herbal remedies. I had this massive gash on my side that took forever to heal.
You see, Zalek, that's the thing. You actually heal from them. I keep the scar.
I don't see the problem. Anyway,
Of-
you said
Of
food?
course you do. Yes, let's get you some food.
Let's go get
more
food.
berries.
No, I don't want berries this
Mhm.
time.
What would you like this time?
I don't know, that feather tasted pretty good though, so I'm thinking something similar. I saw
Dalek,
some of them bird folk on the way over here. Let's see if they can spare some.
You know what, Zalek? You go right ahead, and you put your proverbial paw in your mouth. Don't
So-
come running to me.
Sir Zalek, if I can ask, what is it about feathers that you find so nutritional?
I don't know, I just tried one from that raptor earlier, and it was pretty delicious, so I figured I'd see if other people that have feathers taste just as good. It's not like I can just eat people.
Yeah.
I've been told repeatedly I have to ask to eat things from people, so...
That's
Do you
typically.
not normally eat feathers?
I don't know. How many days have we been traveling that have been eating those stupid rations?
We've been traveling for quite a while, hence why we're almost out of them.
Rations get a little monotonous after a while, and sometimes when I eat the
Yes.
berries in the woods, bad things happen, and I get told I'm not supposed to eat the berries.
Yes, rations are for making you want to hunt more.
Right.
Oh, you can try eating the sun.
Oh, right. You said you ate sunlight earlier. How do you do that?
You look at the sun,
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
Zayla just instantly turns his head up and just starts staring.
No, you have to
I'll
be
keep him busy for a minute.
I
you
can
have to be a
feel it.
plant-based life form.
How do you know I'm not?
I'd
Whoa.
rather eat food.
Where'd you all go? I can't.
Oh my. So, shall we go do some competing?
Agreed. Let's go compete, and I can get this. I can get Zalek some food, so he'll stop trying to eat people's feathers.
Yeah. You know the caber toss won't be for probably 4 hours or so. So you've got some time if you want to move around and just generally socialize with people first. Or if you guys want to avoid socializing and want to directly skip, we may.
No, I'm up for some socializing.
Only with plants
I'm
and
down.
animals.
Not any of the people around here.
Only if they're plants and animals.
Fair.
I feel uncomfortable socializing, but I also feel duty bound to this group. So I will follow you guys wherever you lead me, but uncomfortably.
don't-
It's up to you guys if you
Well,
want to
if
do
you don't wanna
socializing
be-
as a group or not. You can go into smaller groups and separate.
It's how you kill us,
Well, if you-
Jericho.
Yeah, that's
Pretty accurate.
Giving you the opportunity
Well,
to
with all
meet
the
with
events
more
going on, the
people.
amphitheater is usually not too busy. You can join me there if you want.
You know for sure, Sean, they're setting up the amphitheater for the caber toss right now.
Oh, that's where it's. I thought they were
yeah.
doing it at the exhibition stages.
No. Most of the big events will take place in the amphitheater.
Okay.
Hey, Zalek, you can do the caber toss.
What's caber toss?
It's throwing stuff really, really hard and getting prizes if you win, which if you get a prize, maybe you could sell it to get more food.
Or maybe the price is food.
There you go.
I like that idea.
Zalek, have you ever had honeycomb?
It's great being a bear and eating honeycomb.
You can be a bear too.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Nothing but the bare necessities.
That
I
was
knew
funny.
someone was gonna make that joke.
That was a good
I have
joke.
the right. I have the right to bear arms.
Might want to get that looked at.
Oh Lord.
I've got a right to
Sean.
rat arms.
I must admit, I never quite understand Sir Pine's jokes.
Who's Pine?
Sir Bach Pine, right here.
Yes.
I'm not good with last names.
Sean, is there a place we can get a hint of glazed honeycomb?
I mean, you're welcome to go and find a beehive.
Oh, I'm certain there's a place around here selling those.
Yes, because I need to get
Yeah.
Zalek something sweet to eat so he calms down.
That's a good idea. Let's go over to the markets.
All right, let's go. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, you're asking one of the few people who doesn't eat where food is.
Oh yeah, you don't eat either.
Photosynthesis.
I think
Thankfully, I do eat.
I'm going to ask
I eat the sun.
for perception and/or society checks from anyone who would like to try and find both interesting people to speak with / food here.
Oh,
Perception.
Sean's always looking for people.
Since I'm looking for food, could I get my long snout circumstance bonus?
Sure.
Guys, like the Renaissance fair, get some drumsticks.
Hey, our Renaissance fairs are fun.
Yeah.
They used to be.
All right. Seraphinus, did you want to make a roll as well? We've lost Seraphinus.
Yes,
No.
apologies.
Sir,
All right, time to burn the forest down.
Well, you
yeah,
were
they
gone,
killed
Seraphinus.
Seraphinus.
We decided the campaign goal is to kill you to cause trauma to everyone else now.
no.
No.
Got nothing left to live for.
Oh no, I think if we like get to the end and Seraphinus does die, we are gonna go on a murder spree to find who killed him and be like, you killed Seraphinus. It's time for you to die. Painfully.
Screaming. As I munch on your feet and then go up.
There you go.
You guys catch a couple things as you head into the local market area. It's still relatively early on the first day, so it's not the most busy at this point in time. First and foremost, you actually do directly find Honeycomb for sale, Yosef, a gnome druid who introduces themselves by the name Azalea, has hives of bees that they've brought with them, and they are more than willing to sell some of the honeycomb.
Oh yes.
Azalea
How
looks like
much?
this.
Aw.
Nice. How do you spell her name?
Like the flower. Azalea.
Okay, I'm just putting her in my notes.
Well, if you're
So,
looking for some honeycomb, just a few copper coins should be okay.
Okay. Zalek, how much do you want to eat?
I will leave it up to you to decide how much you would like to spend on honeycomb for Zalek here.
Well, I mean, as much as Zalek kind of gets on Yosef's nerves, Yosef has always done his utmost to spoil him. So, how much does a couple copper get? Like
If you want to
size-wise.
spoil him, let's go ahead and say overall spend 2 silver. And
Okay,
that'll get
I'll-
you enough that'll keep Zalek busy for a while to eat.
Yeah, I'll take 2 silver worth, please.
Wonderful. Give me just a minute here. And she'll, just, with a little bit of magic, manage to pull away a solid chunk of honeycomb and hand it over to you as you hand the coins. Enjoy.
Thank you. And Zalik, here you go. Enjoy. You just eat into this giant honeycomb. Oh,
That's really sweet.
yes, it's honeycomb from the best of bees. Oh, madam, would you happen to have any honey tea, like a cup of honey tea I could purchase as well?
At the moment, no, I unfortunately don't.
Oh,
But come back tomorrow and I'll see if I can get some whipped up for you. I've got.
thank you. I will.
Well, actually, if you're willing to stop on by tomorrow, I've got a interesting expedition. Or that's not the word I wanted to use. Exhibition.
Crap.
that, that should hopefully demonstrate a new capacity for stimulating honey production. We'll see if
I
it affects the
will-
tea.
I will be there. It sounds interesting. Okay, well, thank you for the comb, and Zalik. Well, never mind, you're busy.
Bark, Pine, and Seraphinus, I heard you guys getting ready to talk.
Yes, Miss Azalea.
Yes?
I would like to inform you that, what's the name of the turtle lady?
Imorga.
Sarah Amorga has appointed me and my companions here to operate as part-time security for the
Oh.
Wildwood Gala. So I would ask, Miss Azalea, if at any point you see anything that is troubling you, or you think may be a danger to yourself or other gala-goers, please find us, or please find Sarah Enric Vanderhall, or and just let us know, and we will assist you with whatever the problem is.
Yes.
On my honor.
I'll make sure to keep an eye out.
Can't physically throw up in my mouth, but
Sean's just like,
Do you have a mouth?
that's why I can't throw up.
Okay.
Wait, what,
okay.
why do you want to throw up?
Don't worry about it.
Celia may have someone that can throw up for you. It's okay.
Bees. Bees here for
I pay you to throw up for me.
bleh.
All right.
Tucker gets excited at the sound of throw up.
By
Don't
the way,
want to know. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
if any of you have read the Vulture Animal Companion stat block before and looked at their support benefit,
Oh yeah, I know.
it's
I
great.
didn't know that was a vulture.
It's a raven, but we're using the Vulture stat block over just bird. As you guys are looking around as well, Sean and Asili, could I get recall knowledge rolls from the two of you, please? About some individuals you may notice that catch your attention.
Oh boy.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay. The two of you notice each an individual that you recognize that catches your attention in the general marketplace as well. Starting with Sean, you notice Alice Quinley, an individual who travels the forest very frequently, much like you, however, is a knight of Andor, specifically. She does sort of what Seraphinus and Bark do, but more so keeping an eye on her own people to make sure they don't go too far with the logging.
And
Human
what was
woman,
their name again? Sorry.
Alice Quinley. I'll type it up for you, because it's Alice with a Y. she's been, I believe, if you recall, this is her third year as one of Andor's main constituents here at the Greenwood Gala. She's not the most popular with a lot of people because a lot of people just see her as part of the logging companies that they hate, but she's a pretty friendly individual, and if you're ever looking to someone to speak politics with, she's a great individual who enjoys talking about it.
Well, he's not political. He'd probably go over and say hello.
Sure.
Alice Quinn, is that you?
Oh. Sean, Rose Note, right? It's been a while.
That's me. Sure. Anybody been giving you trouble here?
No more than usual. I'm used to it by now. How's the forest been treating you this year?
Got a little bit dry, but doing pretty good. The Faye's always up to something.
Oh, fair enough. But,
It's like family, though.
family, huh? Well, yes. Good to see you. You here to enjoy the gala as per usual, then?
Yeah. Got hired on as security this year, though, so
Oh,
going around, making sure nobody's scuffing up too much.
alrighty. Well, I'm not planning on doing
Anybody
anything
does get-
untoward.
Well, it's not you I'm worried about.
Yes.
Worried about if it gives you trouble because of you. Your background.
People giving me trouble is expected, so it's no big deal.
Still, don't want things getting out of hand, especially as the party goes into full swing. Know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. I'll do my best to avoid some people. I'll probably stay away from the flighting contest this year. I learned my lesson last time.
And you ain't gotta isolate yourself. Just letting you know to let us know if anybody's acting up.
I'll keep an eye out.
Also,
I'll see what I can find.
Also, those Fays staying away from your people, or are they still going after them?
Thankfully, I've managed to reduce some of their aggression towards us. They still go after some of the lumber camps on occasion, but it's much less frequently. I've managed to tap in a bit to my heritage, and as I'm sure you're aware, those who have ability with primal magics are slightly more respected, even if they're not from the region.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep them away from the edge there, but they still, some of them still get it in their head that they can try and take them on themselves. So,
Yes.
y'all are being careful not to go too far, though, right?
I'm doing what I can. Some of them are still, as soon as I turn my back, go for things they're not supposed to, but at the very least, when I'm around, they keep to the treaty.
Take what we can get, I suppose. Both sides are going to be a bit rough.
Right, I'll do what I can.
We got some newcomers this year, so I'll leave you to it.
If any of you are looking for someone to talk to at any point, feel free to. Be more than welcome for the conversation.
Good seeing you.
Just so you know, Sir Quinley, if things don't work out, my lance and my steed are always at your disposal. If the treaty ends up being violated by any ne'er-do-wells who wish to harm the forest.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your name.
Oh, I am Seraphinus of the House of Sadavis. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Seraphinus, then. It's an honor to meet yours as well. Hopefully we won't have anyone making too many big transgressions this coming year. Doing my
Indeed.
best to avoid angering those who we can.
Peace is always best, no doubt.
Right.
I really need to get you a badge or something with all them fancy titles. It might make things a little easier.
You know, there has been a new sort of fad going around back home. Fun little plaques, much like badges like that, but they can stick onto your armor or clothes without too much issue. And some of the more fun ones start with this hello, my name is, and then you can put your actual name underneath, and it helps with introductions for those with long names.
I wonder if my name could possibly fit on such a badge.
Well,
After all, my
seen
title
some-
is long and glorious.
I've seen some long names, Sir Raphanus. I'm sure yours could fit.
Nothing else, we could just write it on your lance. It's going to be the only thing that has room.
That's not a bad idea. Engrave my title along the lance, gilded in gold. Perhaps.
Oh no, I put an idea in his head.
Yes, you did. And I will point that out to you later.
Eh.
As you guys are having this
Here's-
conversation, I'm going to ask, I think, Sean to roll diplomacy and Sir Raphanus to roll nature for me.
Does it need to be private?
Nope, this can be public. Alice is one of the individuals that you can influence here.
Oh, hero pointing that.
Sure.
Fuck!
Oof. Good news is, Sir Raphanus, that is not a critical failure, so it does not
Okay.
reduce your influence with them at all, but doesn't really get you into Alice's good graces. You can tell she's a pretty guarded individual.
Yeah.
But
That's
Sean,
typical.
you've known her for a while, so even just coming over and saying hi to her here, you can tell she definitely appreciated it.
Always good to catch up with old friends.
Yes, well. I should
And
be
to make
going.
new friends,
Aye.
new comrades.
And to make new friends, for sure. I should
Everyone
be-
needs a Seraphinus in their life.
She's like trying to find a
grow
way
on
to
you.
leave the conversation.
Like
Oh,
he'll start walking away. He'll start walking away, but like, don't worry about. He'll point to Raphinus. He'll grow on you. Don't worry.
In what sense?
No,
I'll let you decide.
Like a
Sorry, go
plant.
What- radishes grow in the ground. What are you speaking of, Sarah Rosenote?
It's nice seeing you. Goodbye.
Oh, that went well.
Grow on you like
I'll
a
tell you when-
rash.
I'll tell you when you're older.
At the same time that this group is going over to speak with Alice, Asili, you recognize someone else from back home, actually. Back in Taldor. Someone you've probably seen but never really had any sort of interaction with them, as they are much more of the aristocracy and are part of the Taldan Senate. But Tanasha Starborn, you see walking around, a gnome, rainbow vibrant hair and eyebrows, who is just going around talking very jubilantly to the various merchants and occasionally doing small bits of magic and seemingly trading those little magical effects and wonders for items and food that she wants.
Is she like coming to our area, or is she just minding her own business?
And she's in your general area. It's sort of like the market itself is decently sized, and there's a number of people walking about. She is one of the like She's the one important person you know of that you recognize. The market area is like 100 feet square, pretty much. At least where you are right now. So you see her, but she's not necessarily like right next to you, and you're not sure she would recognize you necessarily.
I will look just a little bit too long until she looks at me and we have that very slight awkward moment. And then I will smile and do like a little half wave.
She gives a big smile and waves back at you, and actually, like, immediately stops talking to the vendor that she was, which you can see was, oh goodness, just an owl, it looks like, that was perched on a small basket of fruit, and they were chatting, and she just waves goodbye to the owl and sort of skips her way over to you. Well, hello there.
Moldy Bread, feeling my relief, immediately lays down and gives her the belly.
Oh, who's a good boy? Boy, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, she'll just immediately start. She actually doesn't pet Moldy Bread herself, but you notice as a sort of almost ghostly hand separates from hers and goes down and immediately starts rubbing vigorously Moldy Bread's stomach.
I am gonna beam because anybody who likes my dog is all right with me. And I'm gonna say, hello, it's so good to see you.
Hi, it's so good to see you as well. Tanasha Starborn, it's a pleasure.
Estili Zawadi. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you so much. Yours is wonderful as well. Have I seen you around before? I feel like I don't often see one so loved by animals around them, and I feel like I've seen you before back home, but I am not sure.
Yes. You might know my mom.
Oh, what's her name?
I don't know yet. But let's pretend that I do,
Sure.
and then I tell it to her.
Yes. I used to know her. I haven't. How is she doing?
She's doing wonderful. Do you know my sister's pregnant? She's gonna have so many babies.
Didn't know you had a sister. Your mother never really spoke about her home life that much. It's so good to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you as well. What are you looking forward to?
Honestly, exhibitions of magic and a good performance here and there never hurts. I've heard that the music here is wonderful, so I've managed to get away from my escorts, and so I just want to explore and see what there is.
My first time. I'm a little nervous, but I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited too. It's my first time also, but I'm supposed to maintain appearances, but I can't do that. Look at how wonderful this is.
Well, would you like to walk with us?
You know, I would love to if you all would have me. Is this your group of people? This is going on, by the way, while Seraphinus and Sean are speaking with Alice.
I will look at the group of people for, not like for the first time, but really, for the first time thinking of them as my people. And so kind of take a moment of assessment and look at her and say, I think so. And then I'll lead her over and I'll start introducing her.
Sure. As the rest of you are sort of finishing up your conversation with Alice, Asili comes over with this very, very vibrantly colored gnome. Who introduces herself as Tanasha.
So
I'm
many
gonna-
colors.
Introduce her to Zalek first, because I'm a lady.
Zalek is like covered in honey at this point, and so like goes to shake her hand and then realizes that his claw is covered in honey and that's probably not the best idea, so just like nods at her and through a mouthful of honeycomb. Von Zalek.
Raffinus will pull out a handkerchief and go to clean Zalek's claws and be like, Sir Zalek, do not speak when your mouth is full of food. That is poor manners.
Zalek's eyes just
Speaking
go
with the other
wide.
lady.
This
What's
is
that?
Alex's pet, Yosef. And this is,
Yosef?
and then I'm going to go into your whole ass title. This is Sir Raffinus of the blah, 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 son of the Daikon, king of the Radish town. He's kind of cool because he's rad-ish. The whole title.
God dang it, it's spreading.
A pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure
what-
to meet you as well.
May I ask your name, dear lady?
Tanasha Starborn.
Sir Starborn it is then.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm no sir, though.
Everybody is a sir in their own way, as long as they carry themselves with honor and dignity.
No, she's sexist instead of racist.
No, sir is gender neutral.
Yeah.
Where I'm from.
For those of you who don't know, Sir Raffinus in a previous campaign has gone on record by saying ghouls do not have rights.
I never said ghouls. I said ghouls aren't
She said
a
they're
race.
not a race.
Oh, sorry,
She
my
denied their
apologies.
Said they weren't people.
Oh my god. Anyways. I am being bullied. I need a responsible adult.
No.
None
No,
here.
we still,
I'm going to look
we still
around
love ya.
awkwardly.
We still love you.
I know.
Asili, if you would like your choice of society or diplomacy as you're speaking with Tanasha here to just initially get on her good side with an influence check.
Public or private?
Public.
I don't like that.
That is just barely a failure if you would like to hero point that.
Oh.
I guess I'm not getting that +1 rune, am I?
Jericho, I need to talk to you about an alternative hero point system. It's actually a pretty good idea. I've been sorry. Continue.
Is it the one that gives a +10 if it's below a 10?
Yeah.
One of my other campaign uses that.
I am going to stick to the rerolls.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I think a flat +10 is just off
Only
rip
if it's a
sounds
10 or
bit good.
lower.
Right, even still.
And I
Oh, hey, you get a hero point back?
And the good news is your influence with her was already 0, so it can't get any lower.
can I can I push?
This is not Call of Cthulhu. You may not push the
But-
wall.
But fine. I know one single person and I managed to fuck it up.
She was probably mostly off put when you said that Yosef was Zalek's pet. If you had to
He's
guess
not?
where you went wrong.
The other way
Yeah.
around, darling.
Well, no, we're
Oh.
not. We're not. He's not my pet. He's my partner.
I'm so
you
sorry.
met-
I honor all relationships if he's your husband, that's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
And
he's.
you-
I'm.
And
we're
y'all,
not.
and y'all
we're
didn't
not in a
invite me to the wedding?
We're not in a relationship.
I
You don't
mean,
know each other?
We kind of are when you think about it.
Okay, let me rephrase. We're not in a romantic relationship.
I'm so love is love. And I didn't mean to judge. I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna go
So
stand behind Velociraptor and hope that his fuckery distracts from my fuckery.
I like how Velociraptor is basically the retarded pet.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Let's not say that.
Sorry. I did not mean that as an insult. Sorry.
Uh, after a few minutes, Tanasha will politely excuse herself from your guys' company, wanting to go take a look at some of the other stalls, as you seem to be generally heading away from the market area specifically. Good news is, this will not be your only opportunity to influence people over the course of the gala. You will have many, many opportunities to speak with people and build up a rapport with them. But that is where we're going to end our first session of the campaign.
Is with my
Alright.
failure?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Okay.
all your fault, Kim.
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
Content.
Yeah.
Excited for the campaign. I love the characters you guys have built so far. So I will see you all next week.
Yeah, it's been this is shaping up to be an interesting campaign. It's definitely much different than anything else we've played thus far.
It's an interesting
Very
party
excited to
for
get
sure.
into some of the abilities. I really want to get into some of the abilities.
The Pokemon party.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you later.
You as well. Adios.
Yeah.